But hello, everyone. We have a spooky themed tier list today. Hello. Testing one, two, three. Yeah, I can hear you. Oh no, I'm sorry. How are you doing, Mai? Cause of Ken Page. Yeah, I know. I know. It is really upsetting. Dude's a freaking legend. Incredible actor. Gone way too soon. Wait, did he? I didn't do that either. Really? Really? Wow. The more you know. I didn't. I did it say that he was like in Broadway and stuff a lot? I thought that was something that I saw. Oh, oh no way! Oh, that's awesome. Like I've seen the play, but like at a local theater. But like that's cool that he did the original one. Oh snap! He did. Oh my god. Oh my god. I didn't know he played in The Wiz. That's crazy. Like I knew Jackson was in it. I knew he was the Scarecrow, and that was about all that I was able to recognize. But that's awesome that Ken Page was in there. Wow. Oh, nice. Yeah, gone way too soon. I can't believe the dude was only 70. That's a shame. Oh, really? Yeah. I'd imagine that's the case if he went peacefully. Um, yeah. Like he didn't have any priors or anything like that that we're aware of. That's a shame. Hmm. Yeah, that's a shame. Rest in peace, Ken Page. You were a legendary man with a legendary voice. Um. Anyway, I am joined with Twix and Mai today, and we're going to be doing a spooky month tier list of horror movies that we've seen. So they're mostly that I've seen. I tried to add in like a couple that maybe you may have possibly seen. I got Coraline and Nightmare for Christmas in there too, just in case. Yeah, I know you're not usually a big horror watcher, but I just thought it'd be fun for us all to hang out and share thoughts about spookiness, some spoopiness. Oh, what's that? Oh, to be fair, really. Oh no. Well, if it makes you feel any better, I used to play Luigi's Mansion as a kid, and I got so scared by the yellow ghosts I had to shut the damn thing off when I was like 10 or 9 or whatever when that first dropped on GameCube. I had to drop that game for a little bit because the noise was just so loud, and they just jump scared me so bad as a kid. It just messed me up. But I burn them with the torch every now and again if I ever play that game. But anyway, I'm hoping that all the movies are in here that we got. I think I do see them all, but we have a pretty hefty list. We have multiple tier lists or tiers as always. We have the fucking fantastic tier. We have awesome horror movie tier. The pretty solid tier. I mean, they tried at least. They tried at least tier. And then the boring or shitty as fuck tier. And we have a plethora to go through, so we're just gonna get right into it. I think we're gonna base it just overall like how good we think that the movie is. Yeah, like I tried to put like a little bit of mix of everything. Like there's like a lot of ones. I mean, well, not a lot of them, but there were some that were kind of like not like necessarily like horror in here. Like I just tried to put a couple fun ones in there. I got like both of the Scooby Doo's in there. I got Adam's Family, and Adam's Family Values. Yeah. And these are mostly ones that I've seen before. There's only like a couple of them in here that I think Twix has seen and that I haven't, but the majority of these in the list I have seen before. Twix, are you still here? I just want to make sure. Cool. No problem. All right, so we have the original Halloween first with Mr. Michael Myers himself. The, I remember, I don't know what I was expecting when I saw it. I guess when I like pictured it, I just thought it'd be scarier when I originally watched it. But it was solid overall. I would, in my opinion, just based on initial opinion, I'd probably put it in awesome horror movie. It's like a cult classic. Everyone, I mean, it made one of the most iconic slasher villains of all time. Myers is a freaking legend, popular enough to be the first ever licensed killer, I believe, in Dead by Daylight. So that, and him being in the game and in general, I feel like was the biggest pushing stone for the game to get known and picked up by other people, and just it just really got the ball rolling on that. So that I think that kind of has like a major impact on like how iconic of a villain Michael Myers truly is. And then you got Laurie, who is also really iconic from that movie. And I think everyone played their roles really well. I think it's a little bit of a slow burn from when I initially remembered watching it, but just overall, I thought that was a really fun movie to watch. Twix, you've seen that before? I imagine you saw the original before, right? What are your thoughts on it, Twix? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I'd probably leave it there. I imagine you haven't seen that one before, or have you seen this one before? Like the 2018 one? Or nice. Nice. So, Twix, is the remake of the original, is that the 2018 one that we have in here, or no? Okay. Because they love dropping confusing titles and whatnot. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think we're moving right along. Okay. All right. Another classic one. We got Texas Chainsaw Massacre. OG. This one, this one predates even over Myers, I believe. I think this one was like in the 1970s, while this one, while Halloween, I think was in the 80s or early 80s, right? I think. Oh, okay. Okay, so Halloween was 78, and then Chainsaw Massacre was 74. Okay. Yeah, Twix is probably going to be more of the horror expert than me on this. Like a lot, I'll be honest, I like Maya had mentioned before, like I know you're not major into the horror stuff. I didn't get my horror kick until like only a couple years ago. So I have like a lot of catching up to do as far as like watching all these things. Like a lot of these movies I've seen within the last maybe 5 years or so because I just wasn't really a horror person, if you can believe it, up until that point. Besides like Dead by Daylight. So, mm, yeah, but yeah, I mean, probably not even 5 years ago. I would say maybe like, geez, like maybe 7 or 8 years at this point. But up until that point, I wasn't a big horror person. I just thought it was all jump scares and all this and that, and it ended up being so much more than that. So that's why I have like really positive feelings towards horror stuff because it's fun and I like getting scared. But anyway, yeah, you're more of the horror games. Yeah, I think I played more horror games than watched horror movies too, to be honest. Anyway, we got Chainsaw Massacre, another iconic movie villain made in the form of Leatherface. You also have his crazy family, the Bubba. I think. Yeah, I honestly, I adore this movie. I don't think it's particularly scary at all because I don't believe a Texan family would, that doesn't really scare me too much. But yeah, Leatherface and Dead by Daylight is definitely terrifying. You want to get into it? Yeah, go ahead, Six. I'll try to repeat what you're saying. Hmm. Oh, 100%. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Like the movie itself, I don't think is scarier than Halloween is, but I think the premise of like running into that type of family in real life is more plausible and a lot more terrifying in execution. Exactly. But I think it belongs up here. I don't know if it's fucking fantastic, but I think it's an awesome movie and I think it's better than Halloween. That's what I believe. I mean, because not only did I really like Bubba as a villain, but Drayton Sawyer, the cook, I loved him as a villain. He was like my favorite, and he's in the first two, I believe. That's why I like was really into those ones, and I didn't really see too many of the other ones after that because he wasn't like as prevalent. But Drayton, yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of them, but after two, I just know it just went down, and I just like there was a lot of inconsistencies and stuff like that. I'm not sure how many movies there are exactly. I know there's a lot of them though. 10 movies. Jeez. Jeez. Um, yeah, the characters do switch around because I'm gonna get into spoilers here. So if anyone hasn't seen it or doesn't want to be spoiled, you've been warned. Are you okay with me spoiling it, Maya? Okay. So basically, there's I think like three of them in the first one. I think there's three in the sequel too. Actually, no, that's incorrect. There's four. There's Grandpa, there's Drayton, and then there's the hitchhiker. I have no idea what his name is. Hitchhiker ends up dying in the end of the first movie because I think he gets run over by the truck. I believe Hitchhiker was fun too. Apparently, in the game for Chainsaw Massacre, I think they got the original voice actor to reprise the role of Hitchhiker, which I think was really neat. That was like a bit of lore I think I learned when I used to play that a bit. So I thought that was really cool. Hitchhiker was pretty much unhinged. Like he's just really obsessed with like cutting things. I remember the scene in the beginning was pretty iconic of him like cutting the one dude in the van. So that was pretty wild. And then just Drayton, like every time he talks, he's just fucking hilarious, man. I love when they just argue with each other, and then he just. I mean, obviously, I don't approve of the abuse that Leatherface gets because I feel so bad for him. But God, he's so fucking funny. Like every time he talks in those two movies, like his acting is so over the top. It's so fucking funny. The only thing I don't like about the the movie is just like the protagonists. Like I was kind of like I just can't wait for y'all to die. Like realistically, I'm just like y'all. Like I'm good. I can't wait for y'all to just get get axed, get eaten. The only one I found to be entertaining a little bit was Franklin, the dude on the wheelchair. Which, fun fact, that's where Franklin's demise comes from. Is from that perk, from him dying to Leatherface in the field. I think he whacks him with a mallet or something, and then I don't remember if he chainsaws him. I don't remember, but he dies near the climax of the movie, and that was Franklin's demise. But well, at the movie's climax, it do be like. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what Leatherface is into. I mean, he could have. I don't know. But yeah, I think this movie was really fun. I initially didn't like it as much upon first viewing, but once I watched it again, I like really appreciated like how good the set design was for that. Like the house itself is just so decrepit and messed up looking. You have like all these taxidermy animals and chicken feathers and all this voodoo crap all over the house, and it's so well done to be. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they're voodoos themselves. That's just what they remind me of. They have like a lot of these bones from animals and shit, like hanging from the ceiling, and that just kind of makes me think that's what it is. And then you got the iconic basement scene where he drags them, brings them down to the basement, and just kills them. It's weird because like Basement Bubba is kind of almost lore accurate because he's like chilling in the basement and then he just grabs this one dude and just freaking takes him. And then even the hooking stuff in DVD was like I feel like is inspired by Chainsaw because that happens in that movie too. Like one of the kills is Leatherface. I think I don't know if he freezes her or whatever, but he's like in the kitchen and he has one of them and he literally puts them on a meat hook or whatever. I just remember that happening and that was a wild kill too. But overall, I think this was a really entertaining movie and I don't know if I should put it on fucking Fantastic or not. I don't know. I'm like singing praises. Like the only thing I didn't like was the protagonists, like the kids or whatever, the college students or whatever that were in it. That's the only thing I didn't like. Like the main girl. Oh my god, she would just not shut up. Like she would scream and scream and scream and wouldn't shut the hell up. God Almighty. I don't know what her name was. Um, yeah, I mean that's the only thing I don't. I love the family. I love the setup. I love the premise. I just didn't like the kids or college students that much. Uh, now gonna die. What do you think, Puck? Yeah, I think that might be good too. You've never seen this one, have you, Mai? I'm probably fair enough. I'm just gonna be asking everyone if they've seen it or not, if they agree on placements and stuff like that. So if I sound like a broken record, I apologize. Now we have say again. All right, sounds good. All right, next up we got this is a no. We have Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. We have the sequel. This one was like even more over top than the first one. Fucking wild, man. It was a really fun watch. Of course, you got my man Drayton on there again, and he was like even more unhinged than he was in the first one. You have the new character, I think Chop Top was the name was, to replace or Chop Top or whatever. He was like that veteran one. He was like a soldier or whatever. That like not quite. He was kind of like posing as like a hippie or whatever, and I think he was like in the war or something, and he has like this metal plate on his head or whatever. Great character. I love Chop Top Miles more than Hitchhiker in my opinion. I love Chop Top. So like this family dynamic in this movie was probably my favorite one. I loved all the family members. Grandpa makes a return in, and of course you got Leatherface back in it again. Um, I'm trying to remember. There was like a lot of like it's definitely I keep saying it. It was really no, they were related, I believe, because Drayton is the oldest brother, and then Leatherface is the youngest brother, and then I think like Hitchhiker and Chop Top are like somewhere in the middle. I don't know who's older, Hitchhiker or Chop Top. I have no idea. I'd imagine Chop Top because he was like in the army. I don't know. Well, I mean Bubba, yeah, Bubba Drayton. Well, think I don't know if Hitchhiker had a name in the first one because in the original, like I think it used to be Bubba the cook and then the Hitchhiker. But then in the second movie, that's when Drayton got named. Like that's when Cook got named to Drayton Sawyer. And then where did Mama go wrong? I don't know. They never really showed the mom in these films. They have a grandpa though. They have their grandpa that was alive, and then spoiler alert for this one, their grandma's in this one. So they have grandparents, and then just the yeah, I know. Grandpa used to be the best killer there ever was. Oh yeah, that was another funny scene in the first one when they're like trying to get the grandpa to whack the main protagonist over the head with a mallet. It's so funny because and he's like so old that he can't move. Gross. He had help. Leatherface basically kind of did it for him because he's so old and he just I don't know if it was something in the chili that Cook was making, but he like lived so many more years than he was supposed to. But it's just left him. No, 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 no. He didn't do that. he, he done shitted himself. Um, he done shitted. Grandpa, no. Yeah, this one was pretty fun. Um, they this one had a more likable protagonist. I liked I don't know what her name was. You're gonna hear me say that a lot because I'm horrible with names. The main protagonist this time was no, I can't because most of them are forgettable. But this protagonist was that's why they get overshadowed by the evil people. Um, but yeah, this one I think was like a radio broadcaster. She has her radio station broadcast interrupted by Leatherface and Chop Top as they both try to attack her. Um, I think she was more fun. I don't think she screamed near as much as the original one. I wasn't nearly as annoyed as I was at that one. Um, I I don't think there was as many victims this time. I think it had a lower kill count, but I think it was a bit gorier. Yeah, enough. Yeah, I wasn't deaf from the screaming on this one. There was one guy that whose death was pretty neat. You actually see like what it looked like when they didn't have the face in the cellar or whatever. I think Leatherface like cuts his face off camera or whatever, but you like see the aftermath and it's kind of wild. And the whole thing with this one is that Leatherface actually has a crush on this protagonist like throughout the entire thing. So it's kind of like it's weird and it's a shame because Leatherface like kind of like has to choose between like his family or the girl that he really likes. Because like throughout the whole thing, he does not want to kill this girl. He does. I'll say that right now. He does not want to kill this girl at all. He wants to try to like, he wants to try to win her over in his own way. And Chop Top learns that really quickly. But it's not until, Drayton finds out like way at the end that he's just like, "Yo, this is what we're doing. We make chili with these people. Like you got to get your shit together." He's like, "It's either us or the Saul," and then that's when he unfortunately has to turn on her. But throughout the entire thing, he's been trying to win her over. So it was kind of interesting to see like Leatherface have a crush on someone and not just go like as a mindless killing machine. I think there was like one or two jump scares in this one that were pretty solid when he like rushed out and it swung the chainsaw at her to scare her in the beginning. Um, Chop Top, as I said, was an amazing character. Drayton, of course, was fantastic. I don't remember seeing Grandpa that much. I don't think he had as much of a role in this one. I don't know if they tried to do the mallet thing again. It's been a little bit, but she was a good protagonist, and then there was another one. I think one of the parents, I think, of one of the victims in the first movie. It was like some sheriff guy or whatever, and he just goes ape shit. Like like he gets his own chainsaw, and then he fucking up the place where they live, like the Leatherface gang, the Sawyer family, their place of residence. He was fucking it up, and he's like, "Let it burn down," or like, "Cut it all down." What's that? Um, three people it says? Is that what it says? Oh, maybe. I'm not really sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, because one of the most iconic scenes in that movie was in fact that bridge scene when he's like on top of the van and he just cuts that dude in half. That was probably the best kill in the movie. Not to wild. I'll be. Oh, sorry. What did you say? Venita. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, she was a good. Vanita was a good protagonist. She was fun. Like as I said, she didn't scream as much. She wasn't nearly as annoying. I think I like this one better than the original. Surprisingly, I like it better because I think it knows it like owns up to the fact that it's silly, and I kind of like that. I'm actually gonna put it up here. This is very biased. I love this movie. I fucking love it. I like it better than the original. Um, and I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I just really like this movie. It's just really fun, and I think I'm gonna put it there, unless there's any objections. Hmm. Yeah, like they knew they were silly. They had a good time with it. I mean, if you're going for more of a horror experience, you probably want to stick with the first one. But if you're like ready to have some fun with some gory goodness, then definitely I would recommend Toe. Fantastic movie, fucking fantastic. Okay. Next up, we have the original Saw. This is the only Saw movie that I've seen, unfortunately. I never got to see any of the other ones. And I thought this was another really awesome movie. Very gory. Never saw it? Okay. Um, well, the majority of the movie takes place, as you guessed it, in the meat plant place that's in Dead by Daylight, the bathroom area. The bathroom area in particular is where that like I would say like 75% of the movie takes place in that bathroom. And it's these two guys that are chained up in this room and they're trying to free themselves from Jigsaw's challenge. And in the meantime, in this one, you have Detective Tapp, who's the character in Dead by Daylight, who's trying to catch Jigsaw and try to like put a stop to him or whatever. So that's kind of like the B plot. Like Tapp and his partner are trying to catch Jigsaw while these other two guys were trying to free themselves from the trap. Um, I think I think Amanda's in this one too, actually. Spoiler alert, of course. Yeah, Amanda is more prevalent. She's kind of more prevalent in the later movies, but she is featured in this one. She was actually originally a victim of his traps of Jigsaw because I think she was like an addict or something. No, so I'm trying to. I mean, you're yeah, I'm fixing to say it. I'll repeat what you say. hmm Like unwinnable traps. Yeah. I think she's like prevalent within the first three movies, I believe, right? I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay. Yeah, because I've only seen her in the movie as like the victim, because she does not start working for Jigsaw at all in this movie. You just see, I think she's like one of the like cut flashback scene or something. Because I think there was like one or two flashback scenes in this one of other people in traps and kind of like failing them, and then you see Amanda get through hers. So like I guess that was kind of to show like, hey, you can actually win and possibly survive this thing. So she was in there, and I'm trying to remember. I think one of the protagonists' family members gets captured by someone, and that's the guy that they're trying to catch. Um, Tap and his partner or whatever. They eventually find where the compound is. I think where they're being held at, and they like try to go and find the guy. I mean, Jigsaw or whatever. And one of the big twists of the movie is that the guy that's supposed to be Jigsaw is not Jigsaw. He happens to be another person that's in the game. So this person that has the family members held hostage, I believe, was another victim of Jigsaw's games or whatever. And then, they bicker or whatever back and forth, the two men in the bathroom or whatever. They're chained up by their leg, and then one of them ends up cutting I think, their foot off to escape the trap. And then the other one, I guess, just chills in there. I guess he didn't want to do it or whatever. And I think the one tries to go for help or whatever. And then this whole time, this the biggest twist of the movie I didn't even get to yet was there was a corpse that was on the ground. Um, in the middle of the room, which was supposed to be like, hey, this person failed the game and he died, so it's like, hey, this we better not fail this challenge or else we're fucking dead. But at the end of the movie, the freaking body starts moving, and that ends up being Jigsaw. And then he gets up, and then he looks at the other guy, and he just slams the door on him. He's like, "Game over!" Just shuts the fucking door on him. Such a good ending. I loved it. Um, do I think it's better than Halloween? Honestly, I say yes. I don't think it's better than Chainsaw Massacre though. I think that's where I'm gonna put it. Did I miss anything else, Twix? Might have gotten wrong. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, so did the saw break or something when he cut it off? Oh, okay. Like I knew there had to be a reason because a lot of these movies I'm gonna get factoids wrong. That's why I'm really glad you're here, Tex, because a lot of these movies I haven't seen for a little while, and I'm always iffy on details. But mhm. So that's his game. Is that Gordon, one of the men in the bathroom, has to kill the photographer in the beginning? Okay. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Oh shit. Mhm. So it's kind of like a domino effect of people failing their games and stuff. Mhm. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, he's like bleeding out while walking out. Well, Gordon gets out of the room. Like I remember seeing him get out of the room, but he bleeding out like pretty bad. The B plot. Yeah. The tap check chasing the guy. Well, didn't his partner die or whatever? Oh hey, bot. Huh, speaking of dying, get out of here, bot. Fuck you. Get out of here. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, I was gonna say that was another thing. I always thought it was weird that they put Tap into DVD because I thought there was more prevalent characters they could have gone with in that case. Like I know he was prevalent in the first one, but does he live through this movie? I honestly forget. Um, Tap dies in this movie. Are you serious? I couldn't remember if it was this one or the second one. I just know that he wasn't in the series very long, and that kind of drove me wild. I'm just, okay. So Tap, wow, Tap fucking dies in this movie. Damn, he sucks. Sorry. I don't. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like DVD. I'm just like, oh, okay. Okay, so Saw video game, he lives, but in the movie, he's dead. That's freaking crazy, man. Like they put him in the game and they put him in Dead by Daylight, but he's dead. But he's dead in the first movie. Like why? Why wouldn't they go with someone else? Like Amanda makes sense because she's like around for a bit. Like Tap was only in one fucking movie. Much, I guess. Yeah. I was gonna say, if anything, they should have put Gordon in. Gordon would have been a much better candidate. Uh huh. Oh, was he? He had rep. He had rep. And plus, yeah, Pig was definitely was one of the earlier franchises, so I could see why um, they wouldn't get in as much. Dude's literally an old man. Like, how is he gonna kill anybody? And that, I mean, he never really got his hands dirty. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I support it too, honestly. I mean, I knew if they ever had Jigsaw and DVD, I told my IRL friend, I'm just like, they're gonna put the pig in. They're gonna put the pig mask person before they ever put Jigsaw in this game. And lo and behold, that's what happened. Because I knew that character was the more of the physical threat. Like that's what you would be running from. You're not gonna run from this little puppet in a bicycle. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Makes perfect sense. Hmm. Yeah, it came out 2004. Yep, it was so good. I would agree with that, honestly. Best twist in horror history. Yeah, it blew the hell up. Yeah, and that's why they made so many of them. Because I don't think it cost that much to make them, but they ranked it in big time. And that's why they were able to make so many of them in the future. All right, all right. Iconic. Yeah, that was. Yeah, Yeah, you're right about the ending though. Tbh. Do I think it does fun beat out like a good twist though? That's my only thing. I feel like it could go either way. Because if I think of like the movie I had more fun with, I like two more. But if I'm going for like a more impactful ending and shit, I would definitely give it the Saw. Uh huh. From saying that, yeah, yeah, like that's no, I agree honestly. The more I'm thinking about it, I think like twist wise. Like there wasn't much I disliked about the movie. I loved all the protagonists. Like there's no obnoxious screaming or anything like that. Like at least not near as much as like Halloween and Chainsaw Massacre. God, like and the ending was just that good. I if that ending was like fucking peak. So I think it does deserve fantastic placing. I think it does warrant that. This one's going to be more of an obscure one because I actually just saw this one recently. Fun fact or song? Go for it. Hmm. Oh, both of them did? Oh, wow. Oh, awesome. Humperdinks. Oh, nice. Thank you for sharing, Maya. I appreciate that. So both of the what was it? Both of the protagonists in the bathroom played in Princess Bride. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So one of the protagonists in this and Jack Skellington both played in those movies in the Princess Bride. Got it. Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you for sharing that, Maya. I appreciate it. All right. Twix, Maya, have you ever seen this movie? You haven't seen it? Uh, Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This was a movie that I saw very recently, and it was with Philby, aka Honey Bunny, on her movie night that she had very recently. It was one of the movies that we watched, and it was a fun one. It kind of like it's kind of like more of like a meta humor type of movie. It kind of like takes the trope of like, hey, you got these hillbillies that are like big and strong or whatever, and you have like the teenagers or whatever, and it's like they kind of flip it around. It's just like it's kind of like the teenagers this time that are kind of like batshit insane, and meanwhile these hillbillies are like actually the good guys. So so one of them is Tucker. Um, I think he's like the older brother. He's kind of like more in charge. He is like more of the manly man. He like gets shit done. He's more serious. And then you got Dale, who's kind of like the more emotional one. He's the one with the chainsaw in the middle, who's kind of like, he's kind of like the emotional character in the movie. He's kind of like he's not very confident in himself. He's like kind of down in the dumps or whatever about certain stuff. And they actually, I mean, do you care if I spoil this movie? By the way, you don't care, Maya, you don't care, because no incest, no, no, that did spoil. Okay, yeah, no incest in this movie. So basically, the teenagers are out camping in the woods, kind of like near where these guys are. They buy the two hillbillies. They buy this vacation house, and they're like staying there for like a break from what they're doing. So one of the teenagers goes off to the creek or whatever. I think they like go dipping or something. And one of them, I think they either like go unconscious or something in the water. I think she like hits her head or something, and she's like not coming up or whatever. So I think Dale jumps in and saves her. And then because they're in their boat, they just happen to be there fishing or whatever, and they were a little pervy a little bit. I didn't really like that they were like watching her like do the skinny dipping or whatever while they were fishing, but they go in and save her, and then they take her back to their vacation house to try to help revive her and stuff to help make her feel better or whatever while she's got this head injury, and then the other teenagers see her getting dragged away by Tucker and Dale, and then they're just like, oh shit, like they're kidnapping her or whatever, so they're gonna like try and go after her. Well, one of them is, I think, named Chad, and that was like his girlfriend or whatever. So he's like especially pissed. So he wants to like rally. Yeah, we got Chad. So he's one of the teenagers. He wants to go after them, try to get the girl back. So we're cutting back to her being back at the vacation house. She's freaked out, obviously, because you got this burly, bearded guy, watching over her or whatever. Like, she has no idea where she is. She's like, "Who are you?" Whatever. She freaks out. Um, but little by little, they kind of like help her get settled in and feel more comfortable because Dale is like the sweetest person ever. He's like the most wholesome person in the planet. Like, he makes her pancakes. He tries to like listen to her problems and stuff. Tries to be a good person for her. And while that's the only questionable thing that they really did. I wasn't too big on that. And even Dale was just like, I think like he didn't want to like watch her do that. Or I think even Dale was just like, "Yo, what the fuck, dude?" Something. So, long story short, they eventually find them at the vacation home, and they start trying to kill the hillbillies. And it's kind of like put out as like a series of accidents and stuff. Like, the one teenager like is trying to stab Tucker while he's like doing I don't know what the grinder thing is when you throw the wood, and I think it like cuts the trees up or whatever. Yeah, the wood chipper. So he's like trying to throw stuff in the wood chipper, and the kid accidentally goes head first into the machine while he's trying to stab Tucker like in the back or whatever. So he's dead, and then the other teenagers see that, and they're just like, "Oh my God, those hillbillies! They just murdered so and so." So it's just like it gets worse and worse and worse because of a huge misunderstanding, and it just escalates over and over and over again. And Chad, also in general, it's revealed that Chad's parents, were actually murdered by hillbillies. So he hates hillbillies. He hates them. So it's like not only is his girlfriend captured by hillbillies, his parents were also. Yep, his parents were literally murdered by hillbillies. So he's like fuck all hillbillies. They're all assholes. They're all these idiots. They kill people. They're uneducated. That's what I want to know. I think they were just randomly in the woods, and then all of a sudden these hillbillies just showed up and just freaking axed them, dude. It was wild. Basically, I mean, it was in the beginning scene of the movie. You see the parents get murdered. Oh, another bot. Get out of here, bot. Fuck you. Die. About Jack Skellington. No, no, no. She was saying that Jack was in The Princess Bride. Yeah. Bumper schnumper dink. Yeah, he was singing voice, but not the original voice. Yeah. Um. So overall, I mean, at the end of the movie, all the teens are one by one. They're all killed off basically until the girlfriend, and then yeah, they basically accidentally murder themselves. I think Chad actually kills one of them, whether it's intentional or not, because they kind of like start coming around to the hillbillies a little bit, and he's like so over it. He's just like fuck this, like he threw gasoline in the house and tried to burn it down or whatever, and then when he yeah, like he turned on the girlfriend. He was like one of those abusive boyfriends. Like he treated her like shit. And and then throughout, like it's Dale and the girlfriend like get a thing for each other, and then that's even worse because now she's fallen in love with a hillbilly in his eyes. So he's like now he like really wants to kill him. He's just exactly, yeah. It's kind of similar to like Gaston a little bit. Like the boyfriend's an asshole, basically. Yeah, hillbilly Beauty and the Beast with some accidental murders in there. But I thought that was a pretty fun movie. It's not meant to be taken seriously. It's definitely not as iconic as like Halloween or anything, but I don't think it was bad by any means. It was actually a really wholesome movie despite all the murder. Oh, Velocipaster's definitely in this. You know, I had to put that in there. That's definitely in there. I don't think it's better than Velocipaster. Velocipaster's probably going up in fucking fantastic. Like I'm very biased with that. Okay, no, definitely not near as crazy, but it's kind of like meta humor. It kind of like pokes fun at tropes and stuff. Like it's similar to like Cabin in the Woods if you ever saw that. It's kind of similar to that, but not to near as much that degree. But it was a fun movie. I wouldn't say it was bad at all. It was entertaining. It was wholesome. I loved Dale. He was a great character. I like the twist that the oh I didn't even say the twist. The twist was is that the father, his father, was actually the one that killed the mother. So it wasn't just some random hillbilly or whatever. So his father, Chad's, so Chad's father apparently killed his wife or whatever, and I guess he was the hillbilly. Like he's the hillbilly that got the kill on the wife because it was implied that the husband got away, but here the husband's the one that killed him, that killed the wife. Well, it wasn't a group of them. It was just him, I think. I think it's like implied that there was a group of them, but it was only the husband that did it. So, like they find a news article and like the guy's caught or whatever. And Chad doesn't know this until I think Dale shows him. He's like, "Dude, your father's a hillbilly or whatever." And he just yeah, like he's just like yeah, so Chad just goes ape shit and just tries to kill everyone. Like he has her in a wood chipper or in the saw thing, like with the log. He's trying to kill her. He's trying to kill Dale. They have like a final fight or whatever. He like hangs up Tucker and like cuts off a couple of his fingers, tortures him a bit. So definitely a messed up villain, but really solid movie overall. Really a lot of fun. I'd recommend it. Basically versus Chad. Like the evil is the college students, basically. Yeah, Chad is fucking. He goes ape shit. Like he's fucking wild. So I think it's pretty solid. I don't think it's more iconic than Halloween or anything. I just think it was a fun overall movie. Next one, we got a fun one. We got Hocus Pocus. This was another one I saw yesterday. Really fun movie. I've never seen it. Believe it or not, I never got to see it. I never got to see it until it is. It was so fun. Oh my god, it was so good. Um, well, those it was fun. Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Very. Yep. Recently, yeah. I heard that the sequel was good. I never got to see it because I mean, obviously, I just wait. What now? Really? Oh no, that's a shame. I think my favorite part of this movie was just that they just went around and called this kid a fucking virgin the entire time, and it just gets shoved in his face. It's like he's a fucking virgin. It's so funny. Like it's just so, like it's stupid, but it's really funny, and it's like really like I love the childhood wonder in this one. Like I love the protagonists. I love the witches. They were really fun. I think there was a decent amount of tension in it. The zombie dude was pretty cool too. The one that was their minion for a little bit. He was pretty fun too. Good character. Um, the music number during the Halloween party was really fun that they did when they actually cursed the party goers to dance until they die. So that was pretty fun. Trying to think of what else. Um, I don't know. This was just a really fun movie. Like really, really good. I mean, it's not a horror movie. Like, it's not terrifyingly scary. I just wanted to put it in because I thought it was one that I saw recently, and I thought it was really fun. I would put it on awesome. I just don't know where in awesome I want to put it. Um, I don't. It's tough, man. It's such a good movie. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. What do you think, Mike? I think it's good right there. Really amazing movie. I've been meaning. Yeah. I mean, it was definitely better than Tucker and Dale as a movie. It was definitely better. Um, yeah, I think this is gonna be a shorter one. Just a really fun movie, really enjoyable. I'm really glad I finally got to see it. All right, I'm gonna go with this one first, cause or do you want me to try to do the first one first? We have like the Evil Dead movies here. The only one I haven't seen is the first one. So let me go and this is Twix's time. I think I have it in here. I'm trying to find it. Here it is. Hold on. What the first one? What the Evil Dead? That's too funny. That is too funny. All right. Oh God, yeah, yeah. I still, I'm still like, I can't believe. I mean, I have seen that scene because I've saw snippets of like stuff on YouTube or whatever, so I know the premise enough. I never sat down like beginning to end to see the whole thing, but I know enough of what happened to be like, this is what happened. Basically, yeah. And I wasn't. That was kind of weird. That was kind of weird. They had that scene. That was a little weird. But I'll let you guys go on because this is one that I've mostly not seen. So I'll try to repeat what you guys say in this case because this is going to be one of the few cases where you guys will know more. Evil Dead 1. She loves this movie. It's got that 80s, it's got that 1980s acting, but it's just they do it so well. She's saying solid soundtrack. Mhm. Nice. Mhm. Mhm. The literal manifestation of evil. Like they did a lot of you know, filming techniques and stuff like that, which was really cool. I'm just trying to reiterate what you said so they can hear it. Just a lot of liberties that were taken in this one that hadn't been tried before, and a lot of reverse filming and stuff like that, and it just worked out for the best, according to Twix. Oh yeah, that's right. The beginning of Sam Raimi's career as a director. Was he a director of this one? Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 Oh yeah. 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 Yeah, it is his first movie. I love Bruce Campbell. Yeah, he's freaking great. Yeah, definitely. The Necronomicon. Yeah. Yeah, all the different kinds of horror. Mm-hmm. Whoops. As I almost close out the list. So you're saying it's probably like top of Fantastic, like above Saw. Okay, I think that's a fair spot. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I just remember that like the Deadites in that one too were like a little bit more serious. They weren't like too much over the top. Is like they were a little bit, but not like as near as much as like two in Army of Darkness. Like I felt like more that's like more so of a horror movie than than the rest of them. The rest of them kind of like lean in more towards the silliness. So I think we're gonna move on to Evil Dead 2. This is one that I actually saw. Like the other two in this series, I did see. Evil Dead 2. I'm sorry, Maya. I completely didn't ask for your opinion on the original one. I mean, did you like it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the part that got it banned. Like it's so it's I just think it's wild that they actually put his name like that. Like it's crazy. Like the yeah, they like switch between being innocent and just being like a homicidal maniac. Mhm. Cool. Very nice. Yeah. Nice. All right. I'm glad that we're pretty much agreed on most of these so far. I don't know. We'll have to see what you think of the second one. I enjoyed this movie. I know it definitely is a lot sillier than the original one. Excuse me. Yeah, they do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It did. Yeah, it did. No. How come? I'm just curious. Uh huh. That's fair. Hmm. But is that necessarily the movie's? Is that necessarily the movie's fault, or is it more the rights' fault that it's like that? That's my question. Because I feel like if the rights issue wasn't a thing, I feel like that confusion or whatnot wouldn't have been present. Uh huh. Hmm. Didn't they have a tree scene in this one too? Like obviously not to the extent as the first one, but didn't they have the tree scene in there too? Yeah, they had like another tree scene. It wasn't as graphic. It wasn't as graphic, yeah. Yeah, they were. Or I don't know if yeah, those trees are messed up, man. They're messed up trees, which I didn't fully that as much of an impact. Yeah. I mean, I guess to me, like this was my first movie in that series, and I was told that there was confusion between the first one and this one, so I'm just like, fuck it, I'll start with this one. So this was kind of like my wow factor movie. So this to me is probably like how you feel about the first one. Like I was blown away by this one, and I just really liked how they did it. I think that it's a shame that that confusion even came to be in the first place because of the rights and stuff, and I feel bad that I missed out on the first one because of it. But I don't know. I think it had a good balance of like silliness and like of like the actual horror. Yeah, I think. Hmm. Something like that. Yeah, the book. Yeah. Hmm. Yep. An Army of Darkness happens. He did. He just got sucked off, man. He did. Yeah, I agree with that. It's just not as good as the first one for you. I think that's a fair placement. No, it's supposed to be within the same universe, I believe. The Army of Darkness is like going back in time, I believe, because that one's nah. I mean, it's a fun way to look at it, but that's not the case. Next we next we have Army of Darkness. I fucking love this movie. I love it to death. Yes, yes. It's such a fun movie, dude. I like it. Do you think it's better than the original? Do you think it's better than the original? God, I could rewatch that movie any day of the week. It was so. I did too. I did too. Like once I saw two, and then I think Army of Darkness was on one night. I'm just like, this movie is so fun. I like it better than Saw. I'm gonna say it. I like it. I like it. I like it better than Saw. I don't know if you agree with that, Twix, but it's I know it's like a comedic horror. I'm going based on what we personally like the most for this. Yeah, because this is definitely one of my favorite horror movies of all time. I love it. I love that movie. Like whenever yeah. Yeah, that's kind of more of the theme. Because I just said horror movies that we've seen. Like I didn't say like scariest or anything because this would be a different list entirely if it was the scariest. But love the movie. Yeah, it would just be non-existent. But I mean, I don't even know where to start. This movie's villain is literally my favorite. I love Evil Ash. I love the skeleton army. I love the fact that it's in medieval times. I love that he calls it the boomstick. I love, I love, I love how everything. I think he does, doesn't he? He has like a big feast or whatever once they start worshiping him. Yeah, he has like a big ass turkey leg, and what well, the only other thing I'll say is that there's a little bit of a difference between the ending of Evil Dead 2 and the in Army of Darkness because they kind of like worship him right away at the end of 2 because he shoots that demon with the shotgun, I think, or he chainsaws it. I forget what happens. There's a demon that a deadite that flies around and he just kills it and they automatically love him. Well, in this one, they start off being like, "Who the fuck is this guy? Like, what's they're like really sus of him." They throw him in a pit and they try to kill him. But then when he comes back out, he kills the deadite that's in the pit. He kind of like garners respect almost, you know, like, and then that's when they start taking him seriously. Basically, this based on what you're saying, I would say it's similar. I know that there was like two armies, one with Henry the Red, and then I think one of them was Arthur. They hated each other, but then Ash kind of got them to settle their differences and work together to defeat Evil Ash and his army and stuff. It's just such a fun. Yeah, but yeah, because I know Arthur wanted both of them dead. I know that, and he was kind of like head honcho almost at that castle, sort of. Besides, until like, yeah, he's like the red-headed guy in the red armor. Yeah, I mained Henry and an Army of Darkness Ash. Those were the two I would play just because they could just tank everything and they just would never die. So that was mm, yeah. You like what in the game or in the movie? You just liked Arthur. What? Holy Grail or is it a different one? That movie was so good. I saw that when it was on Netflix. That was a fun one to watch. That was a fun time. Really. But yeah, Army of Darkness, one of the greatest of all time. So we're being pretty generous to this list so far. None of them have been bad so far. I'm liking it. The next couple though, I might have some hot takes that people might not agree with. So I do see that. Cabin in the Woods. Have y'all ever seen this movie? Have y'all ever seen it? You've seen it? How about you, Mai? All right, premise. It's basically it's very weird. It's another meta humor. It's kind of like similar to Tucker and Dale, except a lot more crazy. Um, yeah, there's a reason why that is a weird Gavin. So these, it's always college kids. These college kids or whatever, they take a vacation to this cabin in the woods. Yep, haha. They go to this cabin in the woods, but there's something weird about the cabin because as they're in their van going through the tunnel or whatever, yeah. Yeah, it is kind of like a Rubik's Cube. It's strangely not shaped like that in the movie, which I don't know why they didn't go with that. It just looked like a normal cabin in the movie itself. But yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I mean to put it short, that was kind of my opinion too when I saw it. It was kind of to put it short, but plot. Um, okay, yeah, no problem. So basically, these people they go to this cabin or whatever, but the weird thing about this cabin is that like as they're going through the cave to get to this place, there's a bird that's flying around, like a hawk or something, and it's flying around, and it just slams into this invisible force field that's just there for some reason, and it just, it slams into it so hard that it dies. So then it like cuts to these office workers or whatever in this movie, and they're like having this vote or whatever, and it has like all these different names of like creatures. Like they have like a mermaid in there. They have like scarecrows and zombies and a zombie family, a unicorn, like all these weird things, and we don't know what they are until later on in the movie when these teenagers get into this house. There's like this gas or whatever that's sprayed in the cabin, and it kind of makes them morph almost into it morphs their personalities. It kind of makes them into these horror trope stereotypes. So you got the you got the jock, you got the slutty one, then you got like the fool, like the dorky, goofy one, and then you got the final girl. So they're prepping these people to be these stereotypes, and basically what's going on at this office building is that they're trying to make blood sacrifices to these ancient deities that are like underneath the workplace to try to appease them. So it's literally like a blood sacrifice type of thing. And as these teens get killed off or whatever, the office people, they like pull this lever and blood drips, and I guess that's supposed to be the sacrifice to these ancient beings that are underneath the building. And this building's like completely underneath of it's like completely underneath this cabin. And every continent, like every country or whatever, has their own version of the same thing, trying to appease these beings or whatever. But the problem is that every single other place has failed to appease these ancient beings or whatever. And they have a bunch of cams or whatever, and it's like a bunch of different countries like trying to get their sacrifices, but they all fail. The main one that we see is Japan, and it's like these little Japanese schoolgirls or whatever, and they're like fighting off against this banshee like creature. It's like a ghost or whatever, kind of reminiscent of like Ringu and stuff. So they're like fighting off against that off camera, kind of. And then later you kind of see that they conjure up this spell or whatever. They kind of like defeat it with the power of friendship or whatever, and they like turn this banshee girl into like a frog or whatever. And they just like they're cheering, they're all happy or whatever, but it's not what they needed to happen or whatever. This company, they're trying to make this sacrifice to these beings so that the world doesn't get destroyed by them. So we're going through the movie, all these other teenagers getting killed off or whatever, and it gets to the point where we think that they're all dead. I mean, most of them you see pretty much die, like they're there. But there's one of them that you don't directly see die that miraculously survives. It's this one stoner character who was, well, I mean, he was yeah, there was this stoner in this one. So basically it was like this gas or whatever that like tries to turn people into tropes or whatever. And the stoner was like smoking his stuff or whatever, and it made him immune to whatever gas they were trying to infect him with. So he was like the only one that was himself, and everyone else is like turning into horror tropes or whatever. So he lives, and he finds the final girl trope because you always have to have the final girl. Like that, the whole thing of this movie is that they needed the slutty one to die first, so she dies first, and then the jock died, and then the nerdy one died. So it was just the stoner kid and then the final girl. The rules of this movie is that the final girl has to die or survive last, and then the sacrifice thing is complete. They save the world basically. But the problem is that they find out from a phone call that's there's still one more that's